Boom! Here we are. Are you guys excited or what? Holy smokes. Semifinals, season 3 in the books. Here's the recap show. I'm your host and commissioner, JD, and we got the Demons here helping us out for the recap. Thank you for making the time once again. I knew you weren't going to miss this one.
Always happy to talk some football, Johnny.
Oh, man. Let's do it, man. Um, wow. The first matchup we're gonna talk about is the Wildcats and the Rhinos. Wow, what a game! Went right down. Right down. I don't want to say it went right down to the wire, but man, it was a really tight game, and then the Rhinos broke away with it. That one run by Thomas Jacobs is just the biggest run of his career in Rhino history. The backup running back is actually the one that pulls it off at the end there. And I know Alonzo Atkins may have had a bad stat line, but man, you got to give him a lot of credit for going down there, leading his team down there, because it's not like Mark Marshall was running the ball or nothing crazy. So you got to give it to the quarterback. Super proud of these Rhinos. Congratulations to the Rhinos. Demons, love to hear your thoughts on the Rhinos moving on. The Cinderella story. Rhinos moving on to the championship game.
Well, that's it. You got the Cinderella team against the defending champs. Who is going to come out on top? It turns out the Cinderella team keeps their story going. They keep defying the odds. They're 6-7 now after 13 games, under 500 in the championship. Just goes to show it matters when you get the wins. This one for the Wildcats, if you recall, we've talked about this a few times where they've struggled late in the season. They came out flying. They were one of the top teams, rolling with the Piranhas, and then they just couldn't get their footing late in the season. And this one looked like one of those games for them. They just couldn't get their footing. They couldn't get anything established. They turned the ball over a couple times. They did force some turnovers as well. Their defense was good, was getting their doing their side of putting up their side of the bargain there. But that offense for the Wildcats, they were one of the top turnover differential teams in the league because their defense would get the ball for them and they wouldn't turn it over. And then
Right.
this one, Ingram throwing 2 interceptions definitely didn't help his team out. And you almost got to wonder too, where Trevor Simpson playing this game.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a little more explosive on offense. That decision to put in Williams might have been, in hindsight, something that they regret. But this one was low offensive production. The teams the game was defined by defense. The teams were struggling to move the ball. The defenses were getting into the backfield. Lots of tackles for losses, lots of turnovers, lots of QB pressures. So defenses came to play. Offenses weren't up to the task on this one. And I agree about Adkins. He struggled on the stat line, but he made some big throws when it mattered and set his team up for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, super proud of these Rhinos. Um, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm not excited because I'm excited. I'm super excited about these Rhinos winning, man. How can you not be? It's the Cinderella story, and now they're coming into. They won 2 road games, knocking off the Bears. Now the favored Wildcats, and now they're going against the favored Demons, and man, these guys are the underdogs all the way through on the road, and I think they're starting to like it. I think it's starting to become their identity almost. Super excited about these Rhinos, man. Let's get right into it, though.
Well, that underdog mentality, that's something you can work with. And every team that gets that nothing to lose, playing loose, they're not favored, nobody's picking them. They just keep winning, defying the odds.
It's so true. The Rhinos get their 6th win of the season and hand the Wildcats their 5th loss. Wow. Um, and move on to the championship game. This is no joke. This is a big, big deal. So let's get right into the highlight reel, and we're gonna do a special recap show for you today, and we're gonna break down the highlight reel for you live on the roll. So we'll go maybe play for play. I'd love for you to break down the first play or talk about the first one here.
Well, this one comes off a 10 play drive. 3 minutes and 14-second drive to open the game. Alonzo Atkins was extremely efficient on this drive. It's capped off by a 1-yard touchdown run that we're about to see here. Just offensive line doing their job, opening the hole up. Great drive by the Rhinos to start the game.
Yeah, what a big long drive too that was, and they didn't score the week before against the Bears. They only scored 9 points going into the fourth quarter. This point here was their first drive, and they got some big time pressure. And the first interception of the day, Alex Campbell comes up huge, anticipating the short throw under pressure. Jeannie Ingram turns it over.
That pressure coming from the right end and up the gut was just you couldn't. The offensive line made a lot of mistakes. This play was the one we were looking for from the Wildcats for most of the season. Troy Jackson finally gets his big play. Early on, they were doing this all over the place. They were one of the most dangerous teams for that quick strike offense. But here we go. They're finally back, and you think maybe the Wildcats they're going to return to that early season form in this one after they make this play. Because Troy Jackson, if he starts making these plays, the game is opening up. But that was all they got. For big plays, essentially, up until really late. The Rhinos defense held the offense in check for the Wildcats.
So true. Troy Jackson only finishing with like 94 yards and 76 of it in that play here. Third down, they throw it to Randy Dorsey and have to go with the hurry up offense. And they were so successful with this hurry up offense, getting them down all the way down to the 2-yard line after the big bomb to Jason Jones, who Jason Jones had 11 catches last week and now had 5 catches this week, finishing in 2 games with 16 plays. You want to break this one down here? What happens here when they come down to the 2?
This one too, though. Before this, there were 3 punts before this. The defenses were locking it down, and it's a 7-7 ball game. But yeah, this pass goes to Griffith, wide open. Defense just misses their man. I think that's Glenn Anderson who tried to jump and make the pick, but I think he missed his man in coverage on that one. Glenn Anderson had a great game, but that mistake you'll be remembering in the offseason.
Oh, for sure. The rookie mistake there. It looked like they were all scrambling to the line on the hurry-up offense, and the offense already knew what the defense was going to call. It was just bad news. 35 seconds left in the second quarter. Rhinos already up by 14. 3 safeties deep, and they're looking aggressive. And look at this. Glenn Anderson, boom, gets the interception, puts the stiff arm on Alonzo Atkins. I ain't going down from a quarterback. Glenn Anderson gets the interception, makes up for the big misplay in the end zone in the following play. Look at Glenn Anderson. He had a huge day. 9 tackles, an interception, fumble you're about to see later. Takes 2 men to break him down. Glenn Anderson, man. First down.
Read that play perfectly, too. Jumped, undercut the route, read it perfectly. This one, Ingram should not have thrown this pass.
Yep, this is you. Yeah, he drops back, he throws it up. Oh, no!
There's 4 Rhinos in the area, and you're throwing it to the back of the end zone. The tip drill someone was bound to get it in a white and silver jersey. There was just a slew of white and silver jerseys there. It's no business throwing that. Wildcats punt on their opening drive of the third quarter. They get the ball and don't do anything with it. Their offense is sputtering in this one. But this interception by Tim Sparks definitely helped him out. Jumps the route again. Atkins was struggling to throw as well. The defenses were making life tough for the quarterbacks.
Yeah, man, absolutely. This game was absolutely one of those games. And look at this, Tim getting a spark for the Wildcats. Had to do it. Bring them to give them some life, but it wasn't enough. And here come the Rhinos once again to throw in the dagger with the play of the game, in my opinion. 6 yards out, Thomas Jacobs. We get a triple replay here because of how good it is. He makes the first man miss, spins around the next, ducks under somebody. I don't know who it was, but he had one of the best plays in one of the most clutchest situations here when it's hard to score, and it's been a struggle all game for both offenses, really. To get a play like this is the X factor in the game.
And there's Glenn Anderson in the backfield and just missteps on the play, unable to get any contact on him. That's 2 touchdowns for the Rhinos. Where Glenn Anderson, as good as the game as he had, he's right there
Oh man.
with a play that he should have made. It's unfortunate for him. I agree. 9 tackles, a pick, and an interception. He had a great day on the stat sheet. And you know what? If those are the only 2 mistakes he made all game, you're going to make mistakes in a football game. This is a little bit of garbage time, in my opinion. You're down by 2 scores. There's a minute left. You have to do an onside kick, which they didn't get afterward. This is a nice play to Grant Williams, but too little, too late, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. But they caught number 57, Curtis Lindsey, the middle linebacker, in man coverage there. Spread everybody apart and then threw the running back up the middle. Here they just dump it off. No time left, and that's the ball game. And the Rhinos win 27-17. Can you believe it? The Rhinos move on to the championship game and dethrone the champions. They will be officially be a new champion this season for season 3. So that is super, super exciting. Awesome.
Going back to the stats on this one, we had 296 yards of offense for the Rhinos, 308 for the Wildcats, with a lot of garbage time yards for the Wildcats. This was a low production game for the teams. Adkins, 68.6 rating, 215 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks. Engram, 71.3 rating, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The offenses were not going to be the reason one of these teams won. The Rhinos defense was the best unit in this game, and that is why the Rhinos won this game. Troy Jackson was the best receiver in the game with his 3 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown, although Jason Jones himself had 5 catches, 80 yards, had a good game. If you go to the defenses for the Rhinos, there's some standouts on this one, though.
Yeah.
Cornerback Alex Campbell, 2 interceptions and 5 tackles for the Rhinos. And then right end Robbie Spriggs, 4 tackles, 2 for a loss, and a sack for the Rhinos. They also had a great day. We obviously talked about Glenn Anderson. He was the standout for the Wildcats on D. Great player. Had a rough showing on 2 of those highlights, but that's what happens when the offense scores touchdowns. Someone on the defense is going to look bad. He had a good day overall.
Absolutely. Glenn Anderson is a monster, and he played absolutely phenomenal, and he is a rookie. It's his first season. He was drafted first overall by the Wildcats. He led the league in tackles with 60 tackles, more than anybody, and he brought his team here to the semifinal round. Had lots of great plays, forced fumble, interception, 9 tackles, but couldn't do it all, and you can never rely on one guy. So the Wildcats needed more people to step up and help him out, and they just couldn't. And you got to tip your hat to the offense of the Rhinos. Let's talk about the Wildcats a little bit, because I know we're going to give a lot of love to the Rhinos. These Wildcats, they've been struggling, but they've been struggling offensively, because if you really look at it, they only let up 27 points. Even last week, they held the team to 17, to the Dragons. And even when they were losing with under 30. This team is not a team that the Wildcats that let up a lot of points, but they have been struggling offensively like crazy. That's why earlier in the season, like you're referring to Troy Jackson with those big throws and them going offensively, you get really excited when you see that, and all the Wildcat fans and the Wildcat owner getting all excited about when you see a play like that, I'm sure. But that's because they've been struggling offensively, and this Philly offense has really gone dry. I think the Grant Williams move helped spark their offense a little bit in the first matchup, but wasn't enough in the second matchup, and the Rhinos just wanted it more. They were just so their defense looks like a whole new team.
Their defense absolutely has been great all year, though. I have to say. I mean, they've had yardage wise not so much, but we know that they forced some punts, they forced some turnovers. This is a team that nobody wanted to play. You saw the Wildcats coming on your schedule, and you didn't want to play them. You were looking at a loss for most of the weeks. They had put the fear into most teams in this league. Now, with that said, if something happened to that offense where Ingram just stopped making those clutch plays that he was making,
Yeah.
Those long passes to Troy Jackson just weren't there anymore. It was Quincy Drennan who was taking a lot of the receptions later in the year instead of Troy Jackson, which
True.
Quincy Drennan's a good receiver too, but Troy Jackson is arguably the best receiver in the league. You got to get this guy the ball. The they said that I still am not a fan of the decision to take Simpson out. I think when he adds an element of explosiveness to the offense, where I feel like Williams, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, John, but Williams looks more like a grinder, and whereas Simpson plays the Wildcats seem to be a big play team,
Yeah.
and Simpson is a big play type of player.
Right.
I think taking him off the field could have been a costly mistake in this one.
Clearly, yeah. And they're gonna always question it now, so can't go back. But yeah, that's always gonna be in question. The moves you make when you lose, but you're absolutely right, man. You have to think about it now. Let's
I
go.
think that's the changing of the guard for Grant Williams, right? Like he won his championship,
Yeah,
but this year he got his shot in the playoffs,
he did.
and
Yeah,
yeah, he didn't. He was other than that garbage time touchdown, he was pretty much a non-factor in this one.
so true. It's so true. 100%. You're absolutely right. Now we've talked about that game for about 16 minutes now. Is there any last points that you wanted to make on there before we move on to the next game, and then we'll talk about the final game coming up, championship game? We covered a lot though.
I think we did too. Yeah, I mean the Rhinos they have some dangerous players with Dorsey and Jason Jones on offense catching passes from Adkins and Mark Marshall. They didn't need a whole lot from him in this one to pull out the win, so they did what they had to do to get the win, and that's all that matters in the playoffs.
You are absolutely right. Now, let's talk about the shocker. I want to say that the both these games were shockers. I want to just go out and say that the Wildcats and Rhinos, well, the Wildcats were probably favored, and the Piranhas and Demons, the Piranhas were 100% favored. Um,
Yes, absolutely, John.
Hundred
These
percent.
both outcomes were outsets. They were upsets for sure.
They were
Yeah, no
both
matter.
upsets, but
Yeah.
this was the bigger upset of the two for sure.
Well,
And
the Piranhas were championship bound. The
for
Piranhas were
sure,
the team that everyone was penciling in. Just say they're going to coast to the championship and they're going to win it.
it
If you looked at
was.
the four teams that were left, Piranhas, Demons, Wildcats, Rhinos, there's not too many people that are gonna bet on one of the other teams and say that the Piranhas aren't the favorite to win that. They had to be the favorite to win the championship by a lot.
For sure, 100%. And I'm excited about these Piranhas in the next season coming up for this draft as well. But man, did they play their hearts out! But Alonzo Graham looked a little bit nervous in the pocket, overthrowing receivers, rolling around, having to move and scramble from the pressure, throwing the interception now again in the two games back to back, which he wasn't really doing. Alonzo Graham, man, plays his heart out. Both these quarterbacks over 400 yards. Look at Eric Watson, dear God. He had a crazy performance. But before we get into that, his performance, Alonzo Graham and this offense are great, but it really showed in this game how much they play off of um, Willie Burnside. And Willie Burnside really was, I don't want to say struggling because he had great numbers when he got the ball. It's just he didn't get the reps early because the Demons took the lead instantly on the first drive there, like in like two plays. They came out hot, and it was just like, whoa, here come the Demons. They're not shy. And they just went right for the jugular. And the Piranhas were kind of forced to throw there. And look at this, only 8 attempts. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was like 4 attempts at halftime. And they just took Willie Burnside out of the game. And that was phenomenal by the Demons and the coaching staff, and by all, like, you gotta give it to the Demons. Hate to, I don't want to blow your head up, but like, cause you're here, but like, I'd be talking about you the exact same way even if you weren't here. What a performance! What a game by the Demons, man. Now, love to hear your thoughts on this. Come on, the Demons. The spotlight's you. Let's hear what you think about this game. How did you feel this roller coaster of emotions?
This was the hottest team in the league going against the best team in the league.
Ooh.
And they were the two top offenses, and they delivered exactly what you would expect from everything I just said. This game was phenomenal. Back and forth, lead changes like crazy. I think there's a few points in this game that shifted it towards the Demons, and 2 point converts were one of the issues. The Demons had the lead in the second half, and the Piranhas scored two touchdowns. Scored the first two touchdowns in the second half. It went for 2 points on both attempts and missed them both. And then the Demons late in the game go for two and get a 2 point convert. That is a 6 point swing on converts.
Oh, true.
That is massive, and that to me is the major reason the Piranhas lost. The other reason is Eric Watson played perfect, which we always say you got to play perfect to beat these Piranhas. 5 touchdowns, no picks, 483 yards, and Alonzo Graham threw that pick.
Yeah.
He wasn't clean, so you got the turnover. Now, granted, the Piranhas did force a Lamar ball fumble. They did get a turnover from that, but this was the quarterback duel. The running Lamar Lester had got his carries, got some yards. Burnside got a touchdown, got some yards. This was a quarterback duel. It was Eric Watson versus Alonzo Graham, and everyone else. They were just they were living in their worlds. They were just on the field with them. It was great to watch. The receivers put up great numbers. There was awesome plays, huge throws. Eric Watson came out on top in this one, but I don't think it's as clear cut as saying he played that much better than Alonzo Graham. Because if you look at some of the throws Alonzo Graham made, they're out of this world too. I actually think the end of this game is what won the Demons the game. They got down within the 10-yard line with 30 seconds left, and they ran 3 plays and kicked a walk-off field goal to end the game. That's if the Piranhas let the Demons score, let's say. I mean, I know it sounds strange, but if the Demons score a touchdown and give the Piranhas time, the
Yeah.
way that the Piranhas were playing, you gotta think that they would score a touchdown and put this thing into overtime.
Yeah.
The I think that this game would have came down to whoever had the ball last was going to win. The Demons just happened to be the team that got the ball last. This was the best game the Demons played all year. This was the best performance we've seen from the Demons. The Piranhas, you can't say that this was the best performance the Piranhas had. This just looked like a normal Piranhas game. Which is by far a high quality game from their team. But the Demons brought everything they had to win this one, and they needed it to win it, as they barely pulled it off.
Oh, yeah. They did barely pull it off, and they just were one. It just felt like they were one step ahead. And then there was that Lamar ball fumble, like you talked about, and they scored. Excuse me. They scored like immediately. I'm pretty sure it was the next play. They had a run from Willie Burnside, and as soon as that they ran that ball in from Willie Burnside, I said, "There's the Piranhas. Here they come. This is over now. The Demons have been in control here," and it felt that way. But watching it as a fan, watching the game again, it really felt like that's it. That's it. The Piranhas got them. They're gonna get them again, right? And this is what they do. But the Demons just took it in, punch for punch, blow for blow, and didn't stop swinging. They didn't lose their balance, and they just kept going blow for blow. And wow, what a performance from the Demons! Legendary performance from the Demons. But the Piranhas now have lost two semifinal games in a row by field goals, last second field goals. They lost last season in season 2 in the semifinals to the Gators in the last 10 seconds by a field goal, and now 1 second left. They call a timeout and kick a field goal to beat these Piranhas. Let's go take a look at the highlight reel, because that is a lot of fun to do. And what we'll do is we'll do the play for play as much as we can, and that's I like that. I think that's gonna be good. Let's go take a look here at this game. This Piranhas and Demons game. One of the most legendary games that we may ever see. And one of the most legendary performances. And the number one offense in the Piranhas going against the number two offense in the Demons. And it was just a fireworks. Eric Watson coming out here, starting out hot. The actual defender, Dion Jones, actually tips this ball. If you take a look real close, he tips it, and Shane Antwine still able
That's
to keep his concentration and come down with it, eh?
Lamar Ball, who had a monster game.
Or Lamar Ball, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Lamar Ball was just on fire in this game. 3 touchdowns. Yes, he had the fumble, but 3 touchdowns on the day, and yeah, that's just great focus. Eric Watson, that's 2 playoff games in a row where even when he's doing wrong, he's doing right. He's been playing perfect.
Play
This was
action.
great play action and then a great broken tackle.
Yeah, wow. That's Chauncey Preston, number 82. And then Alonzo Atkins under the pressure, play action, throws it up and over. And not only does he catch it, but he breaks the tackle. That was a
So
man.
we got to get it. Give me a touchdown, Piranhas, Johnny.
Touchdown, yeah.
Give me one.
You
Give me
always
one.
say the touchdown piranhas.
There it
Oh
is.
yeah, it's there. I was so excited about these piranhas. Excited about all these teams. I'm just excited in general. But no, for sure, these demons, man, come back again, and they don't take a play off, and they come right back again, catch the piranhas in man coverage, strike it right across the middle of the field. Look like the safety Bob Rose was trying to jump in front of the play instead of waiting for the tackle. Tries to jump in front of it and misses it and leaves his guy, and that's Ken Watson or Ken Crosby, and he takes it all the way to the house.
Eric Watson was throwing darts in this game. He would that there was the window was so slim on that play and he hit it perfectly.
He really did. Another play action from the Piranhas throwing it up. Look at this. Launches it deep. What a throw. Piranhas,
That
man.
one's Andre Watson, right?
That one's Andre Watson. Yeah, he's 88. And then 82 is Chauncey Preston.
The Piranhas using that play action, even though Burnside wasn't getting the ball, he was still a factor because you always got to think about Burnside.
So true. I wanted to leave this scramble play in here because it shows that they scramble to the line once again. These Demons did it last week and caught the defense sleeping. The Rhinos also did it to the Wildcats. And look at this. The Demons do it again. Catch the Piranhas scrambling to get back to the line of scrimmage. Demons knowing the play call and able to kind of attack this. But look how close the defender looked like he had a chance to kind of get in there, but Lennox Taylor, man, jumping over everybody.
Just a little off footing, and Lennox Taylor with the big body takes advantage of it and comes down with it. This was just a nice play by Lamar Ball to get open for his quarterback after some time. Lamar Ball just had a great game in this one. It was a hook in the end zone, and then he just ran back to his quarterback like he needed to.
Yeah, that was a great play by Lamar Ball. He was absolutely.
Piranhas get a field goal before halftime, 28-20, and then this play was a heartbreaker as a Demons fan
Wow.
because that to me that was a third down play, and they had the sack and they looked like they were at least going to have a knockdown. But that was Courtney Mitchell, I believe, making that play, who had a great game. The tight end Courtney Mitchell,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had to see it one more
absolutely
time.
phenomenal. Breaks a tackle. These Piranhas are crazy good at breaking tackles. All of them, not just Burnside. They just seem to break tackles all over the field.
Look at this, like instantly, someone in the backfield here.
I think that's Doran Johnson, but I could be wrong. Doran Johnson had a number of sacks. I think he led the league in sacks. But yeah, that's great play by. You can't say Graham played a bad game in this one. He had some overthrows, I agree, but you're making a play like that, you can't be told you're making a bad game. This is Burnside, I believe, coming out of the backfield on that one.
Oh, it was quite the route there. Looked like he was kicking it out on a drag play or an out play, and then just kicked it up field and left the defender behind him. Eric Watson here now, man. throwing another beautiful throw and under pressure, but it gets broken down and the Piranhas turn the ball over and hit ball while he's trying to break a tackle.
That's
And
what the Piranhas do. They get turnovers and then they quick strike. Both these teams are great at quick strike offense, and this is Burnside getting involved again. But absolutely, this is the Piranhas complementary football. They get a turnover and they score right afterward and they bury you quick. In week one, they did the same thing to the Demons, and the Demons couldn't recover. In this one, it was a different story. The Demons offense was on fire in this one, and they had enough gas to get back into it. In week one, the Piranhas just kept steamrolling them. They weren't ready for it.
so true. Quarterback throws 5 touchdowns. Eric Watson, number 14, ended up throwing 5 touchdowns, 480 yards. Look at this play action here. Big throw to the right side, and look at the arm on him, and look at Lamar Ball. You know he was calling for it all game, and he had Devontae Jones's number 49, and he was torching him all game.
Well, Antoine's not making the highlight reel a whole lot, but he had 7 catches and 100 some odd yards himself. He just didn't get the touchdowns. Lamar Ball was getting all the touchdowns. He gets the highlights.
That last play by Lamar Ball was just absolutely incredible.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And this play by Courtney Mitchell.
Jesus, yeah.
Did we? So Alonzo Graham did throw an interception at some point, and it was a triple coverage throw. If you want to backtrack, is okay? So Courtney Mitchell, like you notice, there's 3 demons around him here.
Yeah.
Earlier in the game, Alonzo Graham had tried to throw that almost a similar throw, except it was a corner to the left instead of us. Kind of how he's a little bit of a post there over the middle. The same situation. There was 3 defenders around Courtney Mitchell when he threw the ball, and Julian Hickson got the interception on the play. He went to it again. He really trusted his tight end in this one. And Courtney Mitchell, he earned the trust. He had 6 catches for 140 yards and this touchdown on the day, and he was a beast out there for him. But that's a dangerous throw.
For sure it is. Yeah, he doesn't usually have to make dangerous throws. He doesn't usually throw to his tight end over the middle of the field like that. That's not usually like the Piranhas style. They go to the outsides a lot and just look like the Demons had that figured out, and I don't know if it's hard to judge or it's hard to know if the Piranhas were targeting Courtney Mitchell because they like the matchup on the field, or if the Demons were taking Chauncey Preston and Eric Watson away. But they broke free, obviously, a few times. But just how much Courtney Mitchell was involved, it just makes you think, like, is that the Demons taking it away, or do you think it was Courtney Mitchell just had a great matchup? What do you think?
Give some credit to the defense on this one and say that they took some of those away. And Courtney Mitchell, some of the plays he was making, he's covered as anyway. He just makes catches in coverage. This is the walk-off field goal where there were 3 runs to Lamar Lester and very little yardage gained, all stops before the end zone, and the Demons were able to run up the clock as a result. And that's how it ended.
Yeah.
If the Demons score a touchdown, the clock doesn't run out. The Browns get the ball back. And we know that the Browns can score from anywhere at any time. It's not unreasonable to think that they would have put in another touchdown to get the win. But yeah, there's Antoine on the stat sheet: 8 catches, 124 yards. Had an efficient day, but Lamar Ball was absolutely the leading receiver for this team.
3 touchdowns,
184 yards, 3 touchdowns, huge day. It was Antoine's day last week against the Dragon, or
against
I
Scorpions.
don't even remember.
Sorry.
Against the Scorpions, thank you. Yeah, and this week it was Lamar Ball. These 3 receivers, though, 3 100-yard receivers for the Piranhas.
Wow.
Preston, Mitchell, and Watson. Phenomenal game by the quarterbacks to allow the receivers to put up these numbers, and phenomenal game by the receivers to put them up. And the defenses, despite all this, I actually don't think the defenses played that bad at times. They made their plays, they got some turnovers, they forced punts here and there. It's just that these offenses are so hard to contain. Yeah. They're going to make their plays, they're going to get their yards, they're going to get their touchdowns. no defense is going to stop these offenses for an entire game.
Yeah, no way. No, they're number 1 and number 2 for a reason. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, super excited about these guys, man. They played absolutely phenomenal. Amazing football, CSFL, crazy, 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 crazy. Um,
If you watch one CSFL game all season, that's the one to watch.
that's the one to watch. It's so true, though.
It's edge of your seat action in that game.
Yeah, and the Demons give the Piranhas only their second loss, and it comes in the playoffs. Dear God, that's gotta hurt. They had a phenomenal season. Piranha's so proud of them for coming through and having an incredible team. But they just weren't able to win the shootout with the Demons, and the Demons live another day. They get their 4th win in a row now, and they have 9 wins on the season, and they're looking for number 10. Let's go take a look at the championship game. This is not some regular playoff game. This is not nothing else. This is for it all. This is the last game of season 3 officially. It is the Rhinos traveling to the Demons. The Demons in their first season host the championship game at their stadium, and they can't be any happier than that. Look how high powered both of these offenses are, really. They both are 3rd and 4th for points per game. They've been both playing phenomenal. Super excited about this matchup. Demons, before you talk about this matchup and what you think the dynamic's going to happen between these two teams, how do you feel about being in the championship game and about doing it in your first year?
Feels great, Johnny. When my team completed that pass to get down to the red zone late against the Piranhas, it kind of felt like that was the moment where I was going to take the win in that game. And the whole game, you can't that whole game against the Piranhas, I couldn't take it for granted anything that was happening, because everyone who watches the Piranhas play, that they can take a win away from you on a moment's notice. Until that clock hit 0, that's when the excitement hit in on that, because you finally realize I actually beat the Piranhas in this game. I'm in the championship. Fantastic game by my Demons there. Looking forward to this one. My team they lost to the Scorpions in the regular season. They lost to the Piranhas in the regular season, and they lost to the Rhinos in the regular season. If they beat the Rhinos in the championship, they'll have beaten everyone in the league except the Dragons.
Wow. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Very cool stat line right there. That's a cool one. So, yeah, we got the Cinderella Demons, or the Cinderella Rhinos, should I say. These Cinderella Rhinos going against the Dirty Demons. Super excited about this one.
Yeah. Nobody likes Pink Machine. That one's done. Yeah.
And
We're the Dirty Demons.
And here it is, guys. Saturday, this coming Saturday, at 8:30 p.m., the championship game for season 3, the Demons versus the Rhinos.
Looking forward to it, Johnny. It's going to be a classic.
Absolutely. So thanks, guys, for watching. And if there's any last points that you wanted to make, but I'm pretty sure we covered both games and the championship game. I don't know if you want to talk about the championship game a little bit. We could. But besides that, that's the recap for the week anyway. So,
well, I think the last time these two teams played, the Rhinos ended up going up by a fair bit, and the Demons had to come back, and almost did come back late. There was a lot. The Demons were trying to give the ball to Lamar Lester a lot more than they should have in that game, and the Rhinos defense was shutting them down. We'll see how this one goes. Eric Watson is having phenomenal playoffs. He's 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The Demons are on fire going into this game. The Rhinos' defense is on fire. I'm not going to say their offense is. They've Alonzo Adkins needs to play better in the championship, but I think it's going to be a great game, John. I think this is going to be down to the wire, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one turns out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for making the time, and thanks everyone for watching.